Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Chair.
So now I'd like to move back to the Augustine Drive matter that we were dealing with earlier in the day. We were waiting for some further information to come back. So this is item 10. So we'll go back and pick that up. And if I could invite staff to provide the additional information that was requested when we first looked at this morning.
Thank you, and apologies for not having this morning. Quick point to note. Augustine Drive is a local road, so it isn't required to have cycle lanes. However, it is acknowledged that it is the exit and entrance for Ngapunawai. The idea of the intersection was to encourage cyclists to use the Templetons Road, which is a slight deviation off-road, and the off-road connections to that. Staff have come back and said that we can easily design out the pinch point through either shortening or a multiple of shortening the right turn lane or ultimately removing it if we had to. It is better to try and have it there, is the advice I've had. And if we do that, we can fit a cycle lane through that Augustine Drive section of the intersection. So that would be cycle lanes on all arms of the intersection. We can do that, and we could come back at a later date with slightly revised resolutions is the word I'm looking for. But it won't hold up progress on the project.
So that leaves us in a position where we can approve what's in front of us today, if we wish to. Is there additional wording that you'd like to be added to this resolution to reflect what you've just told us? Would that be helpful?
If councillors feel that would be helpful, that's fine. Otherwise, it will get back to the team and it will be designed in.
Yeah, all right. It might be good, given that it's a question that was asked and it's a concern of councillors. It might be good to express that by way of a further resolution.
Are those all of the resolutions, Mike?
There are some other resolutions that go with it, outlining all of the road marking.
So maybe just a note against the, so note that...
no, staff will provide for, staff through the detailed design process to provide for cyclists on all arms of the intersection.
Note that staff will provide for cyclists. Provide for cyclists
on all arms of the intersection.
Through the design process.
Yes.
Through the detailed design. And we'll bring back any alterations to the detailed resolutions. What are they? Detailed?
Traffic resolutions.
So that would be back to council, would it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's about the special vehicle lane.
Okay, so maybe we'll make that explicit report back to council. Any required changes?
To the detailed traffic resolutions, I would call it.
Yeah, to the detailed traffic resolutions. Great, thank you for providing that information. Okay, so we were in questions, so we'll go back to any further questions there may be. Yarni.
Thanks. I'm just looking at the map of the area. So we've got a major cycleway going just one block over, basically.
Yep.
So why would we encourage people to go?
They will go.
It isn't. It's allowing for them in the space for the intersection because they are still going to use it. So we will, through the design of the intersection, encourage them to use the Templetons Road facility and other facilities that are separated. However, cyclists are still entitled to use the road, and it's allowing them space.
I understand that. I guess I just get really concerned when I look around the city and see where we've tried to put cycleways in very narrow spaces. And you know, if you think of heavy vehicles,
it's not that narrow there.
With buses going around that corner.
Yes, they may eventually, certainly servicing Punawai, if that's the corner you're talking about.
That would be
It has been designed for buses, it won't inhibit that either. And the
So it's going
lane
to come
widths will be
back. So
adequate.
can we just understand, I guess, around the width of the proposed cycleway when it comes back? Just to understand what the dimensions will be.
They will be designed to our standards, yes.
Yeah, they'll be designed to
we
current
have different standards for cycleways. Like in some areas, we've got, I think, 1.3 is the minimum.
No, we don't have different standards. We have
1.8.
one standard. We have had differing standards over the last few years, so we will design to the current standards,
So,
which are 1.5,
5 metres, so
1.8.
1.8 metre cycle lane, 3.2 metre travelling lane
Yeah,
is our minimum.
right. That'll come back in the report anyway, so we can. Yeah. Thanks.
great, thank you. Any further questions? Phil?
I just want to ask you about the trees that are being removed. Are they being replaced with other trees?
Yes, that was my understanding. Yes.
yes.
So the ones I saw in the picture, and I didn't see reference in the report. Mind you, I could have missed it. It's a big agenda. But do they? The species to me seem to be exotic trees. So I'm just wondering why we're not following our biodiversity policy, especially because the whole park, has a large area of native vegetation and native bush in our Punawai Park.
My understanding is we were just replacing like with like, but I don't see any reason that we couldn't put natives in.
I think in terms of that corridor effect leading into the Punawai Park, that would be really good if the policy is followed. So where possible, and presumably the ground conditions will allow it, some native species to be planted.
Just a suggestion. Could the staff work with the community board on deciding what trees would go in? Because it's just not as simple and cut and dried as that. So that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, it's my understanding that staff have been working extensively with the community, both the community board and the local community group out there, residents association out there. So.
Yep, so I think we can expect that that's exactly what would happen, given that we've just heard that. Okay, so would somebody like to move this? So Pauline will move, Anne will second. Any debate? All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? That's carried. Thank you.